I helped him do a couple of things here and there when he was in the Sopranos, and after the Sopranos, I kind of, went on the road.
He was my security and representative, and sort of an agent as well for my personal appearances at the time.
Yeah, I help him out a little bit here and there.
But he served as muscle.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Robert Patton Global Podcast. I'm here with Be a Man and John Fiore. Thank you both, gentlemen, for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I looked up a little bit about you, Be a Man, and I like how everyone just calls you Be a Man. And,
the Be a Man guy.
Yeah, but I was looking at some of your reels, and they're really funny. And I've been telling everyone about.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate
about how you just say some like, is your wife? If your wife's annoying you, just suck it up, be a man, or whatever.
If your wife cheats on her, bang her sister, be a man. That's one we just recorded.
Yeah, and I mean, as a brand, SHEATH, we are very open to everyone's lifestyles and stuff, but we do typically sponsor badass motherfuckers, I like to say, whether they're comedians.
You're looking at two of them right now, pal.
Exactly. Yeah.
Back to the bone, especially being a man. I'm JV, but I got him with me. So
you guys are a great duo, the superheroes. And so, I'm just curious how you guys got together. I think I heard you were friends when you were younger and stuff.
Yeah. Well, we actually met at a sit down. Somebody about 25 years ago. So
or so.
I heard of him. I never met him. We're kind of from the same area, like we were both from Boston, basically, but from the north of Boston. I had a friend who had a problem with gambling, and had to go try to help him out. I used to take action when I was younger, be involved a little bit in that stuff. So I knew people.
Nice.
I knew the people he was in trouble with. We had to go into Boston, and so he was with his guy and a couple other guys, and we had to sit down and worked it out. In a nutshell, my college roommate lost like $21,000. I got to talk down to like $14,000, which I paid, and my roommate gave it back to me. But it was basically through the Italian-based wise guys who had a Greek guy working for them where the bets were put in, and they had Jamaican muscle. So I went in, worked it out. We came up with a figure. I tried to get it lower. They said 14. That was fine. I ended up paying it off. John was there. We kind of hit it off. He was just kind of there.
I was representing. I had to broker the deal.
Yeah, so
Be a Man stepped in.
He was a little bit involved in it. So we just kind of hit it off. We're both doing our job, so to say, right? So we stayed in touch, and here we are. So as far as my friend, I paid off. I met the two Jamaican guys. They had like machetes in their belt and stuff, just sitting there like this with the dreadlocks, looking at me, and I said, I'm here for the Greek. I'm paying off a debt. And they just nodded. I gave them 14 grand. I said, 14 large. And they said, yeah, and they got their car and left, and that was it. That's what happened in that transaction. But we stayed in touch since then. And I helped him do a couple of things here and there when he was in the Sopranos, and after the Sopranos, I kind of, went on the road.
He was my security and representative, and sort of an agent as well for my personal appearances at the time.
I help him out a little bit here and there.
But he served as muscle. Some shady appearances in certain areas of town and cities. So you had to have protection. I had the best in the business here.
Yeah.
Power numbers.
And I'd seen him in action point blank, like I said many years ago when he's telling me that story. I saw the kind of guy he was, and it was very protected.
Yeah, I mean, the power numbers. I heard you when you were younger. You were like super jacked, and I mean,
I'm not jacked now.
I think you are still pretty beefy.
Jacked.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
Beefy.
I mean, look at me. I'm just like stick and bones here.
Yeah, but you look like you're ripped.
I work out. I just did a fast though for like 3 days, and
torture yourself, be a man.
Yeah, exactly. Torture yourself, be a man. But it was actually quite like enlightening. It was this weird experience where I felt, like more clear and more in touch with the universe or whatever. I live in Woodland Park in the mountains, and I found myself, it was like I was on acid, kind of like I was.
You guys in Colorado right now? Is that
Yeah.
real?
Yes.
Colorado, okay.
Me and Major, we did a fast. We haven't eaten since 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Currently in fasting mode.
That's how I normally am, but I was just after Thanksgiving. I feel like I ate too much.
No,
and
you feel bloated. I know.
I felt gross. Yeah, I felt like toxic, and so which all these ice baths and shit. Everyone's doing all these things to be optimal, and I'm playing that game. Do you guys?
Yeah, you're into all the latest stuff. The ice bath, the fasting. Yeah, I see all this stuff. I've toyed with some of it. I would do the ice bath maybe if one was available. I don't know where there's one. I'm not going to buy one. Me and Be a Man may get a double bathtub and go in it together.
Get the fucking freezing water. Be a man.
That's right.
We'll need smaller underwear because our testicles will shrink. We won't wear the same size underwear anymore.
It hides it with the pouches and stuff, so you're not looking. You don't get embarrassed. So do you guys do stuff to like try to optimize your health and body and mind?
Yeah, we both work out. He lost which way?
I lost about 40 pounds.
Yeah, he looks great
recently. Yeah, I'm in the peptide craze. Talk about the craze, right?
I've heard
heavily into pep. Yeah, look into it.
BP 157 or what is it?
Yeah. Took that one. Took another one called CJC 25 and Pramolin, and I listen to all these podcasts with these longevity people talking about all this stuff. And that's all I listen to. I'm so into it. You got to try it. It really does make you feel better. I've had some physical injuries and some of these things like that BPC 157. It really works.
How do you even? I mean, I don't even know where to get. I know I can get like TRT and HGA. I mean, anyway, I can get things, but the peptides. How do you get peptides?
Well, there's a lot of like say clinics around here. Well, they probably have them there too, like Remedy MD. These are like they do skin and Botox.
Yeah,
and Ozempic shots and this and all these kind of peptides they do too. A lot of these places are popping up. So you can go in there, a membership, and they'll give you a shot there. They'll send you home with stuff. They'll get you stuff. And I've been taking the BPC 157 in a pill form, and another one is a sublingual. But both of they can all be injected too.
Yeah.
So, but I can attest to the fact that it works. It gives you energy. It makes you feel good. And I'm totally into it.
Okay. Yeah.
I put on, I was up to 275. We did our first show for Be a Man about 2.5 years ago. I was like 235. I went up to 275. And I'm doing it the old school way, just kind of not eating, torturing myself, making it hard on myself. I don't want to do anything easy, Be a Man. So I'm down to 250. So I need to get down to about 240. It'd be good,
Yeah. I'm trying to gain weight again. I lost too much weight, and
how tall are you?
5'8", 150.
Oh, yeah.
Not even. I'm like I was at 140 last week. I'm back up to like 146. I just need. I want to be like 160 or a normal.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Like once you start eating again, it'll pop back on.
Yeah. I broke my arm, and that also. I was skateboarding. Like I'm 45.
Wow.
Yeah, and I fell, and I was trying to brace myself from the fall, and I cracked my radial head.
Ooh.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah. So
operation?
I'm doing physical therapy. It's like this chip. It's just like a chip. I say I broke it, but it was a fracture. But it's like a chip off the old block. Yeah, and that's not a good spot. I can't straighten it. But I'm going down to Puerto Vallarta in February to do the stem cells. That whole craze.
Oh, right.
Really? Oh,
that's
good.
another one.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
I'm gonna get.
And they do say, out of the U.S. is better. All these podcasters to get more and better stem cell out of the country.
I'm just waiting for it to get legal in America so I can fucking shoot something in my hip.
Right?
I'm supposed to get a replacement. What they've been putting.
You should try the BPC 157. It helps all that pain.
Yeah.
It really does.
Actually, I like the pain kind of.
Yeah, I was just talking to one of my UFC friends, and he was telling me like they're very strict with the UFC, what you can take and can't take. So I won't
Sure.
say who it was, but he's doing like the BPC 157, and so I just need to find a clinic. I think I have a lady. I've had Botox because I'm very vain, and we're trying to fight the getting old.
Right.
And I don't know. It's like it really bugs me getting older, and I'm just like trying to do fight against the dying of the light.
Now, do you know Dustin Poirier? Have you ever met him? Or?
I haven't met him, but I obviously know.
Big fan. Nate Diaz. Like most UFC guys are guys, the big Be a Man fans.
Yeah, I just met Justin Gaethje, which he fought Dustin Poirier. I was doing a podcast, and I didn't really meet him. He FaceTimed in, and so I met him through like the screen there. He was like, "Hey, what's up?" And I was like, "Hey, you're the man."
Yeah.
Because I'm right here in Colorado, like up in Denver. We got Corey Sanhagen, Basil Hafez, Curtis Blades, Kamaru Usman, and like all these guys are trained.
Then the Broncos are doing pretty good this year.
I don't really watch football, but I watch football documentaries. I watched this one on Barry Sanders last night. It was so good, and he was so quick and like agile. He's doing these spins and shit. I watch every single UFC fight, so that's like the only sport I can afford to watch. And we just became official sponsors of the UFC, which is like
congratulations, dude! That's great,
so huge,
unbelievable.
Yeah, that was monumental, and we just signed a year for 2024. We're sponsoring the 296, which is in 2 weeks. That whole lineup is going to be insane, and where they weigh in. They weigh in Venom underwear, which is why it's tricky because we're Sheath underwear. And so, but on the scale, they have a sign in front, and our Sheath is going to be like the sign in the front, and then in the background, and then in the octagon. And I'm so pumped. It's really expensive.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
How long have you been following the UFC?
I mean, I remember my dad would stole, like the first one with the box.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's how I used to watch it back.
Yeah,
that was like
the move.
It was in the early '90s, maybe mid '90s, around there. Yeah, we used to. All my buddies used to come over because we had the box, and it'd be like it was bare knuckle, and you have like a 200-pound guy fighting a 600-pound sumo wrestler.
Yeah,
I mean, one of them got on his back and kept on punching him in the brainstem.
I remember that.
Remember that one?
Sumo guy littler guy beat him, just kept punching him with his fist. No gloves.
You see someone get kicked in the face, the teeth go flying out. I mean, it was really barbaric. It was cool.
It's more civilized now.
Yeah, it is. A lot different. Nobody died then. I mean,
what's that?
Nobody died, surprisingly.
I know.
Back in those days. I mean, you go like the first 20 of them were pretty crazy. Had Tank Abbott, remember
that dude? Abbott? I was from Huntington Beach, and that's
so that's where he's from.
Yeah, and my dad,
he's like a street fighter.
Yeah,
he was just a big baller mother. Yeah,
then he went out. He was a wrestler for the W.
WWF, WCW.
He started WCW. I didn't think he went to WWE for a while. Yeah.
This is really cool. I just to reiterate, I really appreciate you guys coming on here.
No problem.
I love doing these things and just because we don't know each other, and then we like it's kind of like this weird
some common ground to talk about, right? Some common things to talk about.
Yeah,
like sports and broads and everything else, probably.
Are you guys married?
Not to each other, but he's married.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Yeah, I just go out with a lot of different girls right now.
That's fun.
Be a man's in demand. It's hard for one woman to contain be a man.
Yeah, they have a crazy life, so it's kind of tough to tie me down right now.
Life is so weird, Do you ever like sit back and think like, what the fuck disc.
every
I
second.
don't really get that. Yeah.
As me and Mia Man say, we're our age. We're in the fourth quarter of life.
Yeah.
No matter how you cut it. So, like you, I too am looking for every edge I can to turn back the hands of time.
Yeah.
It's inevitable, and I'm all for trying whatever would improve the situation.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah. I'm waiting for like AI to
Yeah,
be
no,
able
right?
to reconfigure our DNA strands and
Someday it'll happen. Someday people
Yeah,
will live
course.
to be 120. I listened to this longevity dude, Jeffrey Glad. Check his podcast out. He's a doctor, real doctor. He's predicting people will routinely at some point live to be 120 years old.
What they do in Japan now.
Yeah, well, it's close. Over 100.
Yeah.
You know, the blue zones, all that stuff. The blue
Mhm.
zone. Yeah, it's fascinating.
yeah.
My uncle lived to be 107.
That's
Whoa.
unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was never married, never smoked. Had a little wine.
No kids.
Very
No
religious.
kids,
Yeah. No stress. But he was like an artist and
Okay.
a sculptor and all that stuff. So he was pretty just a real chill guy. You never met him, huh?
No.
Yeah, but he was a good guy.
That's pretty amazing age
just-
to be, right?
Yeah, we only lost him about 3 years ago.
I mean, what are you doing in those last 7 years? Is he mobile?
He was, I'll tell you, he was in the assisted living part of this place in Somerville, and it was Our Lady of what? You know the place I'm talking about,
Yeah.
Highland Ave. It was like a nursing, like one floor was a nursing home for like dementia patients, and then the next floor was like a kind of assisted living. Then the next floor would be like for the priest. It was run by the Catholic Church. So he was in a great place, and he's very religious. He went to church every day. They had it there. He was walking around and, very active. And up until like the last year, then he started to go down a little bit. And
okay.
unfortunately, when he died, he got COVID, and we couldn't go see him because at that time they wouldn't let you in.
Yeah.
So he died. Well, he didn't die alone. He died with the nuns around who loved him.
Well,
But,
that's
yeah, because we used to go see him like at least once a week. Everyone in my family would go see him once, twice a week.
And he was sharp. And,
Yes, he was shot. It was incredible.
okay.
Yeah, it was incredible. He was amazing.
I'm trying to stay sharp. I feel like I don't know. Maybe I smoked too much weed when I was younger or something. I'm just like, okay, I need.
Well, I'm taking something from my memory that helped, but I can't remember what it is. What was that? You remember it's ginkgo biloba or
Oh,
something like
ginkgo.
that?
Yeah, that's been around forever.
Yeah, I took that. It just seemed that, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or because I just got too much going on. But even when I'm like reciting stuff here, it helped me. I think I've improved 100% since I started taking it.
Like that, I mean, these things do help.
Yeah.
Some of it's, some don't, of course, but even if, like I said, even if they help 5, 10, 15%,
Yeah.
give it to me.
Yeah. Right. I was doing the Alpha Brain. I'm sure maybe you guys have heard
Yeah,
of
I've heard
it.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe Rogan and all that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Have you ever met him?
No. Well, I
He's
have.
involved in the UFC a lot, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I have talked to him. I went to one of his comedy special shows back in 2012 in Austin, and he had got done with his set, so he's doing crowd work, and I thought this is my big opportunity. So I start throwing Sheath on the stage, and he picked up the package and he looked at it, and back then it said what it was on the package. He's like, Sheath, a pouch for your junk. What the fuck do you need a pouch in your underwear for? This is the stupidest idea I've ever heard of. Or $1 billion idea. And I have it all recorded, and it's clearly him, because he has a distinct voice, but I just felt odd. I still have it on my phone. I never released it because that would be kind of like taking advantage or not. You need his permission to use his voice.
He had a vision because you're going to be a billionaire.
We're definitely on the way. We've grown. We're doing very well. We're very lucky that people like the product, and it's just like we have really good quality and the pouch and the customer service and all that. But like the universe, sometimes you make a decision and you don't quit. Like that's these books I've read, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Like once you quit, it's over. And you gotta kind of like have faith in the process and in the universe. And then once you past those first few obstacles, because everyone, you kind of get shut down on your way to the goal
Sure.
with obstacles. But if you just don't quit, then the universe will be like, okay, he's not going to quit. Let's give him what he wants.
Yeah, a buddy of ours goes on all the time with Rogan. Shane Gillis.
Oh,
He's a comedian.
I love him.
A friend of ours, friend of Beer Man's, and he goes on. I think he just moved to Austin, actually.
Oh, he moved?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's on there. So he goes on like about every 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, he's on.
To protect our parks, dude.
Yeah. Him and
and Mark Norman. Yeah, we sponsor all those. Actually, we sponsor all those guys, and including Shane.
Yeah.
And he'll be wearing the sheath in the podcast because he's got his legs up. And he's wearing shorts.
It's always sticking out because he was the shots.
Yeah.
Because we were on. Tommy Pope and Chris O'Connor.
Stuff Island.
We were just on their podcast 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks, was it two?
3.
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I have the worst story about Chris O'Connor. I met him at Skankfest, and I thought he was Matt McCusker.
Oh, McCusker, yeah.
And I was like, hey, Matt. And he was like, basically, I asked him if he was Matt, and he was like, oh, I'm Chris O'Connor. And I was like, or O'Connell, I forget. And anyways, it's one of those moments where you just kind of like want to sink back in your shell and just like hide. I was so
He's
embarrassed.
a good natured guy, though. He probably didn't care. Right?
Yeah, he was cool. He was cool about it. And yeah, we were in like, I love, do you guys do comedy at all? Or
Our own particular version. We're not really stand-up comedians.
Yeah.
Well, in this environment for us, what we're doing this podcast, it's comedy,
Absolutely, yeah.
So, but stand up now.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I'm good for 5 seconds. That's what I tell all the girls too. I say my thing, and I said he could do stand up.
I might be able to if I want. I've never been about trying to do stand up in my life. Especially I love comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even really listen to that many stand up comedians. The old guys I listen to on YouTube. Don Rickles, Rodney Dangerfield. Oh, I go way back. Modern day comics. I just can't get real dialed in with it. I'm just not.
We have Chrissy Chaos. Chrissy Chaos.
Yes.
Okay. We just saw his show a couple of weeks ago. We saw him after the show too. Good guy. He's like one of the best. I think.
He's so energetic.
Obviously. Yeah.
And Shane is my fucking. His comedy specials are like.
Yeah, he's on Netflix now.
Yeah, but the one on YouTube and his Trump impressions and shit. But
he does his He's great. Have you seen him in person perform? Or?
I've met him briefly at Skankfest. I have not seen him in person though.
Yeah, he's great.
I guess I never really saw him on stage.
He's awesome.
Yeah,
he does that podcast with McCusker.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I think we're going to be on Chris's podcast eventually. We were going to be on it about a month or so ago, and his producer's mother had a health problem. So we had to cancel, and he's all over the place, and we're all over the place. So we went to New York and did Stuff Island and a couple other things around out there. We're probably going back maybe in January. Yeah, we're good. Ryan Long.
Oh, I love Ryan Long.
Yeah, him. Growing Up Italian. We're going to be on with those guys, and there's a couple other ones he has that Joe has lined up for us. We just have to figure out the dates. Probably in January.
You guys know Dave Smith? I mean. Do you know?
Yeah, you just had him on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know him.
He's like I wanted him to run for president. I'm like, he was talking.
Yeah, he's cool. Yeah,
he's very smart.
It'd be nice to see someone like that run for president out of the blue. I mean, why not? Gives a lot of these idiots a run for their money. Make them think. I mean, something different. I get no problem with that.
Yeah.
What is he? A libertarian?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was so close, but I mean, it's just gonna, you want to ruin your life.
I mean, he has a good life now.
Right.
He's got a young family, doesn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
it's currently a no-win situation. Whoever the president is, you can't win.
No,
you just can't. I mean,
maybe if you were like not a woman, not a man, and,
that may help a little bit.
Yeah,
maybe.
If you're not a white man.
Exactly. And maybe not even, cis or all these things. You're gonna have to check all the fucking boxes, and still somebody's gonna come after you. So
Yeah, you can't win. I mean,
there's no
we
winning.
try. I mean, I'm not very political, and I'm independent. I'm pretty much in the.
Absolutely.
I lean to the left on some things. I lean to the right on some things.
Me too.
I'm not political at all. Don't vote. Be a man.
Don't vote, be a man. Yeah, I was getting into it, and then like during the early Trump era, it was just fascinating.
Oh yeah, entertaining.
Yeah, it was, and then they just
I'll say this about Trump, but we've always kind of had an interest in history and politics to some level in life, like we all have, but it wasn't in the forefront, like you're saying. During that election, during his run, I feel he dumped the whole apple cart out for all to see and examine, drew us all into politics. I was watching Fox News like all night long.
Me too.
3 hours in a row. I go, what am I doing?
I know.
Only recently broke myself of the habit. I go, I watched half of Jesse and I quit. No more all night.
Gutfeld, and Jesse.
Right, I just can't. It's the same stuff.
Yeah.
But what about Kennedy? Is he gonna run?
Oh
What's he do? Is he run as an independent?
I'm liking him, and he went independent. Yeah, because they wouldn't let him run on the Democratic.
I would think he would take from the Democratic Party. I would think
probably more so than anybody else. But he did expose a lot of things, and it made you pay attention to. Like I've learned in the last several years more than I ever really knew about what goes on down there, and the people involved in the games they play, and all the
media.
Bullshit. Right, the media collusion and everything that's happening. I go, wow. And prior to this, you go, was this really all happening before too, or is it just worse now? Anyway, we're now paying attention to it,
right?
More, you know 100%. What I mean?
Yeah,
I've reclaimed my life. Like I said, I backed off. I said, I can watch the fucking movies and relax.
So it's gonna be starting up hardcore.
I know.
After Christmas in
That's
January,
true.
It's gonna be starting up again.
Yeah, I was thinking that next year is going to be a boom year for the economy, because they're going to try to stimulate the economy so that you want to vote for who's in office currently, and that would be good for our business.
Oh yeah,
because
drill, baby, drill.
Yeah, let's go.
I know, right?
That's it.
Make that money, sell some more weapons. Let's do. I'm just kidding.
Everybody will spend their money.
Yeah, just give everyone free money. But I joined the army in 2006 because weapons of mass destruction. And granted, I was in a very desperate place also, and I needed to change my life around. I was a fuck up when I was a kid. I've been arrested more than that many times.
You never think this, right?
So just quiet ones you gotta look out for.
That's right.
Yeah, nothing violent.
We thought you were normal.
I had ambition. Very ambitious.
Unbelievable. That's great. You got arrested that many times. Huh?
Were you overseas in combat and stuff like that?
2 times. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, thank you for the service.
Yes.
You're very welcome.
Incredible.
It was an incredible experience. I feel like young men and women potentially should do martial arts and join the service for some period of time. Go through basic training. It will. It'll put you
martial arts. Good discipline.
Yeah. We're so soft.
Do you do martial arts too, or?
I do.
What persuasion?
I do boxing and jiu-jitsu.
Wow, cool. Well, that's a good combination.
Yeah, that's
right?
Good.
We just our podcast was on combat.
Yeah,
one of them was on combat sports. And we're talking. There was a car jiu-jitsu, right?
Something like
jiu-jitsu in the car. Do you ever see that?
No.
It's it's Google it.
Not too thrilling. Phone booth fighting. We watched that. That's pretty nutty. Close hockey uppercuts. Yeah, this is far away from me.
Yeah, the slap fights. We saw the slap fights.
Power slap.
That. They have jousting, right? They have jousting and all kinds of stuff.
Jousting.
They dress up in armor. They even have shields and.
I saw that.
Crazy. Whacking the hell out of each other.
So Royce Gracie, right?
Yeah.
He weighed 175 pounds. We talked about that just now. He was incredible.
He was the best at his time, and then
pioneer, right? Yeah.
Matt Hughes took him out with because once they learn when you add wrestling with jiu-jitsu, the wrestler they're just fucking animals.
Yeah.
Was it Mark Coleman or was it Matt Hughes?
I think Mark Coleman, I believe, was like
Was that
way
after?
bigger. He was too
Yeah.
big.
Oh yeah. He was super. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
he was. I remember he fought Kenny Shamrock, right?
Mhm,
And all those
yeah.
guys, and he was tough, man. He was just just a tough guy.
I just met Forrest Griffin recently.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Nice.
That was so cool. He was, that legendary fight with Stephen Bonner, and
Mhm.
just that was really cool. And I love the mentality, the discipline, the dedication of
Oh,
fighters.
sure.
They, it's very similar to business. Running a business. If you're running a business and you put all your focus and dedication and energy into that business, like fighters do into fighting, you're probably going to do pretty good.
Mhm.
And with your podcasting and stuff, just whatever it is you're doing, that type of dedication is really going to make a difference.
Yeah, I find I try to write myself out a schedule every day of what I have to do and what I want to get done, and just kind of check it off during the day, and it helps me be disciplined in some ways. Kind of.
It takes the pressure off of trying to remember all the little details, because otherwise I get stressed. I get stressed.
Yeah, well,
out.
you forget everything.
Yeah.
It's like too much going. Well, me anyway. It's like too much going on, too much to do, and got to make this call, do this, go here.
It never fucking ends.
No, it doesn't.
It's like
Keeps us out of trouble though.
Yeah, but it like mentally, I think back to a simpler time or some shit.
Yeah,
We're on the farm and just staring out. Into
even when there was only fax machines, that was the big thing.
Right.
Fax machines. That was in beepers, right?
beepers, yeah.
Beepers and fax machines.
You go back in time, a man sitting in his office, all he had to really deal with was his telephone ringing occasionally, right?
Yeah.
Now you got freaking computers, your phone, your
Cell
laptop.
phone,
It's just a bombardment
Four
of the
screens,
senses,
yeah.
isn't it? It's just so much.
Yeah, it's not realistic to be able to like take all that information in, and you guys are in a similar probably like situation where people are there's always messaging you, and like whether it's on the social or text or calling. I do not answer my phone because it's like, I'm sorry, Mom.
Do you have a lot of help in your business?
We have
like an assistant and stuff like that?
I mean, my wife is my like assistant, but I don't really have I do and I don't. Like, I don't have like a secretary, but I have a team.
Yeah, good, good. Steve, I met Steve before.
Yeah, Stevie. He's wild. He's
like your right hand man.
He's my when I need something done, I call him and he gets it done for me. Yeah, he's a great guy, by the way.
Yeah, nice
he's so nice. He's just like the type of guy, always positive.
I'm so bad with technology. When he sent me a link to your podcast, I said Dave Smith owns Sheath, because I hit on the link because that was his latest. So he's like, I texted him, I sent an email back saying that. He's like, you serious? And I was like, well, let me call you, because things get lost in cyberspace and the translation of what you're trying to say and all that. So we talked on the phone and straightened it all out.
Yeah, that's why I brought up the Dave Smith thing, because Stephen had told me about that, and I was laughing. Dave is a huge advocate, but I'm the CEO. I started it 10 years ago. It's our 10-year anniversary, and we like the UFC deal.
Yeah, I saw that. Congratulations. It's good. You guys sent us a couple of years. We tried it. We like it. We don't get involved in anything we don't believe in. People are sending us stuff, as you can imagine. We have boxes and boxes over there. People wants to try this and that. So
and being man and I are both well endowed, may I say. So these underwear really help us out.
Keeps the package nice and tight.
And comfortable.
That's where so I was in Iraq when I came up with the idea, which this is like true story. It was hotter than the devil's balls.
Oh, of course.
And I was like, guys, your balls stick to your leg, and it was a very simple concept.
Right.
Trying to reinvent the wheel.
God bless you guys for all you did. God bless you for coming up with these underwear.
You are too kind.
Yeah.
I'm trying, and it's fun. I would never want to sell. I like running a business. I like working. Like, what are you going to do if people are like, you should sell the company? And I'm like, well, then what am I going to do?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
If they come up with something else, you're a smart guy.
I have a couple ideas, but I like this, and it affords it. Like, I'm talking to you guys, and I get to talk to like so many different people, and
let's go. Well, you love what you do. I can tell you love what you do.
Yeah.
You friends with Dana White?
I am not friends with him yet, but I am business partners.
He's telling it like it is. He's all over the place, man. Huh? He doesn't hold back.
He's from around here.
Yeah, he's a Boston guy.
Nice.
I like his style, man. I like the stuff he's been saying. I see him popping up all over the place with these podcasts here and there, and
100%.
Just telling it like it is. He doesn't give a shit
about Peloton. Yeah,
that's great. The Peloton was fabulous.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and he's promoting this other echelon now. It's a new kind of basically Peloton brand. But I like how he's talking about the relation. You're forming these relationships with these brands, and we're very aligned, as far as brands are concerned. We're into the same type of shit.
He's doing the peptides with Gary Brecka, who he dropped all that weight and got ripped. Gary's all about that stuff.
Okay.
He's got a nice podcast.
Yeah. Gary Brecka.
Yeah.
I'm going to write that down.
He's all over the place too. And he was on Joe Rogan. I mean, you can look him up. He's everywhere.
There's so many good podcasts to listen to.
It's a lot.
And there's only so many hours in a day, but we're happy to say we're in the top 1/10 of 1% of all podcasts in America. So we're one in 1,000, basically.
Yeah.
So it's really taken off for us.
I was just listening to it with my wife, and she was like, you guys have like pleasant voices. She was liking listening, but it is so saturated. Everyone has a podcast.
Yeah.
Every day, more and more new arrivals out there by every single hour of the day.
See, we're lucky because we have 8 million followers, so we have a captive audience.
Right.
And we've drawn a lot of followers from them. It's helped grow it to where it is now.
I highly recommend the Be a Man podcast.
Thank you. Be a Man experience.
Yes.
Irreverent, funny. I try to just make jokes of our background, our upbringing, our sensibilities. And
I was just
we've been around. We're like 130 something years between us. So we've been around, done a lot.
When those spring chickens, as Mom used to say, right?
We're in the fourth quarter.
Well, do you want to listen to some 21-year-old that has no experience, or do you want to listen to some guys that have some wisdom and stories and shit?
Sell some stories and have fun doing it.
Yeah, I was just listening to you guys talking about being at like something about glory holes and like the poor guy that has to clean up mop it up after.
Mop mat.
Yeah, I mean that's like. That's the worst.
I never had that job, thank God.
Yeah,
things never got that bad.
But I mean, I know that I've been to different peep shows and stuff. I'll walk by them, and you see like there's a line of guys ready to go in there. It's like that's so fucking gross to me, right?
We draw the line at glory holes. Yeah. We don't do that.
But it's just like the actual peep show itself, where you have the girl on the other side.
Right. Even that.
Yeah, it's like.
That Madonna video, was that a Madonna video? But where she was like I don't know if that's a proper reference, but I could see the interest in that, but just the line of guys for like months and years going in that particular little stall, that's what grosses me out.
Did you ever see the show The Deuce on HBO?
No.
It's about basically Times Square and all that back in the 70s, during the Coke days and the pornography.
The Coke days.
It's wild, yeah. So forget HBO. It's just like 3 seasons long.
The Deuce. All right, I'm learning some things.
Okay. Could educate you. We're having a lot of fun doing what we're doing. Yeah. I mean, basically, it's okay to be a man. That's what the bottom line is. It's okay to be a man nowadays.
I know, right?
Don't anyone tell you anything different, ever.
Yeah,
it's okay to be a man in 2023. It's not a crime.
I think we're shifting back. It
seems like it's coming back a little bit.
Yeah, everyone just fucking.
People are speaking out more, and there's more pushback to it, which is the start of turning it around.
Yeah.
People like Dana White, for example, people like him and people unknowns or whatever. You just say, fuck you, man.
Yeah.
You know, you hit that stage in life, the I don't give a fuck stage. The older guys get, and now some of the younger guys get it too. Like, hey, this is who I am. This is how we think. And then this is, accept it. I accept you. You accept me.
There you go. That's the thing. You want us to accept you.
We're trying to spread the word. We're two prophets.
Yeah, we're the apostles.
Yeah.
And through comedy, you do it through comedy.
We have a good time.
Try to spread the word, have fun doing it, and tell it like it is. Hopefully don't offend too many people.
Right. It's a good outlet.
Yeah.
It's our id. Some of it's our id.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? They don't really behave this way always or whatever. Like, I'm not barbarians. But this part of a man's brain of these thoughts and just kind of like let it go. Just whatever.
Yeah.
100%.
We have a book that's came out last November. Are you familiar with that?
The Be a Man book? No.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Be a Man, the Ultimate Guide. That's like, we're starting to get Christmas orders, craziness right now. It's really took off this year. It did good during the year, but now this month in November, it's been crazy for Christmas presents. So it's affordable. It's on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and everywhere. It was on sale, but it's pretty reasonably priced.
Did you guys write it together?
No. We had actually Dak Shepard and Kristen Bell are big fans, and they've talked with Joe, our partner, and about. We got approached about doing a book, and so Joe has talked to Kristen Bell and Dak often.
Whoa,
back in the day, they steered us in the right direction. They gave us hooked us up with UTA and a ghostwriter.
Yes.
Go put it all together. Ton of work for Joe. I mean, I had the easy part really, because he did all the tough stuff. But that's going good. We do different appearances and ads and advertisements for different companies on the podcast, on in studio and things like that. And it keeps us busy.
Yeah, no, that's fascinating. I got approached to write a book, and I'm going to make you a best-selling author and this and that, but I'm not ready for that. But that's really cool.
Well, someday, something to keep on the agenda.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he was going to write it for me, and we'll see. I'll get to that, but yeah. I will have to check that out. The Be a Man, the Ultimate Guide.
Be a Man, the Ultimate Guide.
Yeah. I was thinking, before the podcast, like this line from Goodfellas. Ever since I was a little kid, I always wanted to be a gangster, something like that. And then that's why I got
my favorite movie. That is my favorite movie.
It's so fun, at the end when he's fucking just running from the cop and he's doing blow in the car and they're chasing him. That's coke.
Where I grew up right in Day Square in East Boston at Logan Airport, and all the wise guys used to hang out there. They were part of the Angelo crowd. This guy Barboza was a hitman back then, the Animal Barboza, and they hung out right in my neighborhood across the street and around parking in front of the house and stuff. And it was, seeing, I never ran around with the gangsters, but I just saw all that, you see the guys that weren't working and dressed up in the flashy suits and stuff with the new Cadillacs. I mean, I didn't know back then, but looking back, you realize they were all mobbed up.
And it's funny that era is over, as we all know. The Italian-American mafia doesn't exist as it once did.
No.
But we came up in a day when it did exist. And these characters that you see in Goodfellas that he just described, they were real. I have the same background. I have similar backgrounds around similar people, legitimate mafiosos / gangsters.
Yeah.
Like as close as all over. Because it was at its apex in many ways before the descent. But back then this is real stuff. And
his old man was connected. He was a bookie, and I basically
was there.
I basically grew up and my uncles owned a bar. And they were connected, and they were bookies and loan sharks and everything else. So I grew up in the bar, and I tell the story. My legs would be dangling off the bar when I was 5 years old, drinking a Coke, watching all kinds of shit. All these gruff bastards taking their guns out and fucking drunks around and hookers and fist fights, and then watch the whole world around me. It was crazy. I wouldn't trade it for anything though.
Yeah.
In some ways, we can use the mafia or an incarnation of it. Not really, but in some abstract way. Some of these cities were more under control because people wouldn't dare come and burn down your store in this particular neighborhood. Or if you did, there'd be a price to pay.
Mm-hmm.
There's truth to that.
Yeah, no,
That really existed back then.
They was a policeman.
There was like a wall. They go, whoa, we don't go over there, man, because we don't want to face what will happen to us if we do something over there.
Yeah.
And that's how they protected it. Now, of course, that's all gone. I don't know what system, but we need a system that people have more respect for each other, the cities, the buildings, all of it. This is crazy, right?
It has gone. Oh my God, there's a horse out there. Yeah, it's gone like to just lawlessness and chaos and, defund the police. But I could see how like having figures in a society, like in a community that you're not going to cross, you're not going to fuck with them, whether it's the police or the mafia. That
Yeah.
If people can say what they want about the police, they hate the police. But I always say, like, if your brother or your loved one or one of your parents was sitting there dying, having a heart attack, they would be there trying to save that person's life for you. You just got to remember that. So
99.9999% of all cops are good. That's how we feel about it. In any profession, any field, there's bad apples, right?
Of course.
But overall,
just like life,
these cops, they're damn good,
I got pulled over about 4 days ago, and it had been years. And I was on the phone. I was kind of like multitasking, and I made a U-turn, and very clearly it had these big signs, no U-turn, but I didn't see them. I turned around, and this cop, he was not even in his car. He just like stood in the middle of the road, and he was like, pull over. And I was like, oh fuck. So I pulled over and into the parking lot, and he was like, license, registration, insurance, and all that. And so I'm pulling all that shit out because I actually had it, like, and so that was helpful. And he ran all my stuff, and he was like, you know why I pulled you over? And I was like, yeah, I don't think I was supposed to make the U-turn there. But he's like, we're going to play a little game. He's like, are you a family man? I said, yes. You got kids, wife, blah, blah, blah. Yes. And he's like, okay, call your wife. And so I called my wife, and he's like, I just pulled your husband over, but I'll tell you what, I'm gonna give him a warning, but he's got to buy you a real nice Christmas present. And it was awesome.
That's cool.
No, he was
That's a good experience.
You know what? If you're cool with the cops, they'll be cool with you.
Yeah,
exactly. You gotta give them shit. They'll come at you, which I don't blame them.
I was arrested 3 times in my life, and I could say honestly, I deserved it every time.
Yeah,
I did. In my particular case, I'm not saying everybody has, but that's what happened to me.
Me too. I got away with a bunch of shit that I should have been arrested for.
That's right.
Man, I was so dumb. It's like I don't know. I'm just surprised I made it as far as I did, and kind of grew out of that. They say that your brain doesn't fully develop until you're like 25, and woo. I joined the Army at 26, and I think that's when I actually kind of became a man.
Made you a man. There you go. Yeah, you sound like a man to me, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm doing my thing. I'm trying. Awesome. And, I'm always trying to, I was just talking to a buddy, not a buddy. He's like my coach, like a mental coach. And he's telling me about how I've grown and stuff. And you never want to like fully be like, I know it all. Right. Once you know it all, then
what else is there?
Yeah. And so I'm never stop learning, and I'm never, it blows my mind actually how I did this thing with the underwear. I'm like, I'm a fucking idiot.
That's unbelievable.
You could be the smartest dumb person I know, though.
That's right.
John, when you were in like doing the Sopranos, did you ever feel like some kind of imposter syndrome, or how did I get here, or did you work really hard to get there?
Yeah, I mean, I had been acting for a number of years prior to that. So, getting that job, auditioning, doing stuff, being in New York, doing Law and Order for many years, other stuff. And the show was in its 2nd season when I went for it. It was not quite the phenomenon that it became, but it was on its way to. Yeah. And as an actor, I went, oh, that's a show I'd like to be on. And little did I know I'd get an audition, at least get the opportunity to do 13 shows. So it was great to be there, and it was very bad to get the call to say bye-bye, too. So, but it was great being on it.
Yeah.
It was still by far the greatest thing I've ever done, because voted the greatest show in history of TV by multiple sources.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, my daughter was wearing one of the shirts of the wife. I forget her name.
Carmela.
Carmela. Yes. She was just wearing that for Thanksgiving. Well, I love it, and I highly recommend the clips. They're really funny, and the podcast
Thank
will be
you.
a man
When I
experience.
lose another 5 pounds, I'm going to pose with my sheath underwear.
Please.
Just the underwear. I'm going to send it to you. You can do
Okay.
what you want. You can do what you want with it.
I'll
Have
post
a nice
it online.
background. Maybe you could, throw it up there. Hey, GG.
Get a couple girls
Right?
on your shoulders, and then. Well, I really appreciate it. It was a good time. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you
And-
again for having us on. We really appreciate it. Great.
Oh man, likewise. Okay, well, I will let you guys go, everyone. Thank you for coming. We'll see you next week.
Be a man.
Be a man. All right.
Brother, thank you, man.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.